The Audi Q5 TFSI E seems to be the ultimate upmarket family plug-in hybrid. Complete with the official electric running of 26 miles, a turbocharged 2-litre petrol engine to keep you going after that, and all the plush feel and practical convenience of this popular mid-sized posh family SUV, it's hard to see what's not to like.
Well, there is always the price. The Audi Q5 plug-in hybrid is offered in two different models, a 295 brake horsepower 50 TFSI and the 362 brake horsepower 55 TFSI that we have got here. Now, the 50 TFSI starts from £50,000, while the 55 starts from £55,000. But if you want to add adaptive cruise control, keyless entry, and the panoramic roof that a lot of buyers are going to want to add, then you're looking at some £5,000 worth of additional equipment. And that does make it pretty punchy on price compared to more generously equipped rivals like the Volvo XC60 T8. But if we can forgive it those prices and the weird rear diffuser that looks a lot like very fake exhausts, the Q5 does seem to be the plug-in hybrid that a lot of buyers have been waiting for. All the familiarity and desirability of the Audi Q5, the roominess, the practicality, that electric running, and the 2-litre turbocharged petrol engine, which promises to be a bit more efficient than the equivalent in the Volvo. So, with all that in mind, is it really that good, and is it really worth that money?
The Audi's Type 2 socket is located on the passenger side rear wing and opens with a simple push release. Standard cables include a Type 2 for public charging or home wallbox charging, and there's a cable that can be switched to a standard 3-pin domestic plug or a 3-pin industrial plug, which is useful for campsites or commercial areas. The maximum charging speed in the Audi is 7.4 kilowatts, which means that the 14.1 kilowatt-hour battery will be fully charged in some 2 hours if you plug into a car charger of 7 kilowatts or more, and that is the fastest charge you will ever get. Plug into a normal wall socket in your house and you'll have a full battery in 6 hours. As with many electric cars, a timed charging facility on the Q5 allows you to set the preferred hours you want the car to charge in, making it easy to take advantage of off-peak electricity tariffs at your home. These can be set via the screen and can also be turned off or on via the button next to the socket itself. There's also an Audi phone app which allows you to control the charging as well as to set the cabin temperature to be ready for when you're setting off.
So we know that you can get this car in high-powered or low-powered, 55 or 50 TFSI, but both of them get 14.1 kilowatt-hour batteries, so we'll have very much the same electric running of around about 26 miles officially, unless you have got the bigger wheels and loads of kit, and that will actually affect that, of course. We've got 20-inch wheels on this one, and we're seeing around about 20 miles in real-world use, including quite a bit of motorway stuff. So if you're mostly around town, particularly in good weather and with the efficiency mode in action, I reckon you'll see 25 miles, something like that. Not only that, but the 2-litre petrol engine is pretty efficient actually. It's got a really clever trick to help you make the most of that petrol engine as well as the electric running too. So if you put a destination in the sat-nav, it will see from the nav and the route that you're taking where it's best to save the electric running for. So if you're going up the motorway, it will prioritise the petrol engine, and then you'll have loads of electric running for when you're in town. And it's really clever, and I've used it and it's very effective. You can obviously choose to take control of all of those modes yourself, so you can stick it in hybrid, you can stick it in pure EV, or you can choose to hold the battery for later and save your electric running for another time. The brake regen system in the Audi is all very clever as well. Actually, it's very similar to what's in the e-tron. So if you're driving along and you lift off the throttle, it will coast very cleanly, so there will be no engine braking, no brake regen, anything. That can feel a bit funny because it feels a bit like the car's running away with you if you're not used to it. But what happens is then the car can sense if there's another car up ahead, or even if you're approaching a roundabout, and it will start to increase the braking. So it does feel like it's kind of doing a lot of the driving for you. And again, as ever with these things, it tends to be just familiarity and you begin to trust it. And it's quite a good system. I really like it. Ultimately, this car is very quiet, very refined, and if you want it to be, it's very fast too. So the 55 will do 0 to 62 in 5.3 seconds, which is properly hot hatch fast. It doesn't ever feel like a really sporting, enthusiastic car. It doesn't encourage you to chuck it around like an SQ5 potentially can. But when has having that kind of performance in a straight line ever not been fun? And it really suits this car that it's got that kind of muscle when you want it. But apart from that, honestly, it's just really comfy, so quiet. You can have air suspension on this car, but only in the Vorsprung trims, which are the top trims. It's not even an option on the rest. So that's worth bearing in mind, except I think this is more than comfortable enough without it. If you expect an expensive car to drive in an expensive way, well, this certainly does. So we've already made a brief mention of the equipment in the Q5, but the thing to know is that there are different trim levels on the 50 TFSI and the 55 TFSI. So the cheapest plug-in hybrid Q5, the base 50, even that gets part leather seats, 3-zone climate control, auto LED lights, auto wipers. It does get most of the stuff you'd want, including this 8-inch screen complete with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Go for the 55 TFSI and that adds full leather, massage function to the seats. You also get the tech pack that a lot of buyers are going to want, which brings the virtual cockpit, as Audi calls it, or digital dials to the rest of us. You also get more online functionality for the nav. You get a touchpad here to control it with, wireless phone charging, so usefully more stuff.
Given the additional kit you get, the 55 TFSI isn't as bad value as it initially seems, and this infotainment system is really good. It's easy to figure out and it's got all the functions you could possibly want. For most people, I reckon the base system in the Q5 plug-in hybrid is going to be more than good enough, and the quality of the graphics, menu layout and how quickly it responds is just great.
It does feel absolutely lovely in here. The materials feel gorgeous, there's loads of adjustment to the driving position, visibility is good, everything is just where you expect it to be, really easy to use and feels absolutely top notch. So expensive as it is, you don't feel shortchanged.
The plug-in hybrid Q5 is a really good family car too. It does lose 95 litres of boot space compared to the standard non-electrified Q5, but it still has 450 litres of room, which basically means you'll get a chunky buggy or a big dog in there no problem. There's no underfloor storage though, nor the option of a space-saver tyre, so it's a repair kit or nothing. Even more annoying than that is the lack of cable storage, which means that if you want to take the cables with you, you end up with a huge bag for all your wires and plugs taking up a big chunk of the boot. Still, there's plenty of room in the very comfortable back seats, which also split and fold flat in 3 sections, so if you can live with that cable bag, this is still a great family car.
So we know that it's a bit pricey, and we know that Audi has stuck an enormous suitcase in the middle of the boot and called it cable storage, which clearly it's not. But for all that, the Audi Q5 plug-in hybrid is all of the car that you would expect it to be. Maybe I would have liked to see slightly better electric running, particularly given that this is brand new tech that we're going to see in loads of new Audi models going forwards, and given that there are other plug-in hybrids out there doing 30 miles and more by official standards. Even so, this is one of the best plug-in hybrid family SUVs out there. It's lovely to drive, great interior. I think it deserves to be as popular as I suspect it's going to be. So if you're after a premium plug-in hybrid family SUV, this should be top of your list. Head to DrivingElectric.com for all of the electric and hybrid car advice, news and reviews you could possibly want. And check us out on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. While you're here, don't forget to hit subscribe on our YouTube channel.